All right, everybody, get your asses ready. Your fat internet listening stupid asses. It's the Piled Pit Driving Pod. It's going to be a shit show. I threatened to stun my wife before the podcast started, and her response was, "Sounds like somebody wants to get hit with a steel chair again." So I left and decided to do this podcast. We're going to do some predictions. We're going to do some IWC talkings. We're going to do some suspension talkings. We're going to do some freedom talkings. And we're also going to do predictions. I don't know why we bother, because you know it and I know it. The man, the myth, the legend, the true legend will once again retain his cruiserweight title. I am confident of that. You know him. You love him. He is Mr.
You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Hi, everybody. It's the Pittsburgh Piledriver Pod Face, and this is going to be a stupid show because I have little to no confidence in the idiots who are going to be talking in your earpiece. Speaking of idiots, you know who I am. I don't want to talk to you. You don't need to know me. But I also have Tiger Bomb Tom here. He's better.
Wow. I thought you were going to go straight to Beef the Legend at first, so wow.
No, Tiger Bomb Tom. He's the has-been.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He
How
ain't
you
never
doing?
gonna get that title.
Yeah, how you doing tonight there, Ransom?
I'm telling you, I'm getting over some plague. It was bad.
Yeah.
We're 90% over it. We still have a little bit of a lingering hack, but other than that,
I had the same thing going on here. Thankfully, the Tiger Cubs did not get it, so
yeah,
all is well in the jungle again. But apparently, the plague of Mordor is still lingering over your way, so you keep it over there.
Yeah, I think so far 3 out of the 4 people in our house have received it, fought through it, and Tara just said to me this morning that she thinks she might be coming down with something. So, you know what? Go for the freaking 4 out of 4. Why not?
Yep.
I'm sure it's going to make its way. Speaking of disease and disappointment, how you faring over there, Beef?
Been a rough day, man.
Knocking it out of the park as usual.
Been a rough week, and got a lot of shit, lot of irons in the fire. So
a lot of fires in the irons.
I am happy to hear your voice, not dead. So that's always a good thing. I mean, mostly not dead.
Yeah, it's semi. We're
But we have the responsibility to our wonderful 4 fans to soldier on, regardless of disease and plague and fucking shitty situations. We owe it to the damned public to be on our A game, so that's what we bring every week. Well, every other week.
Listen,
when we're here.
we don't owe shit. I'm gonna speak up for Ransom. We don't owe you shit.
That's right, you ungrateful bastards.
But we do it because we like to do it, because we enjoy it. We mostly enjoy. I enjoy it.
I think Ransom's a fan deep down inside. He just won't admit it because
he's Ransom.
I don't like to admit it. I don't like to admit it publicly.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it amongst the 3 of us. I don't want to admit it publicly.
Yeah.
Speaking of the 3 of us, our illustrious Le Champion, Mr. the Bard, is under the weather. He's fighting a stomach bug. He's here in spirit. He may pop in voice. That's going to be a special surprise treat for any of the 3 people listening to this show.
Including us.
I was going to say, including
That's
us.
right, yeah. It'll be a special treat for us if he decides to pop on. So as of right now, it's a trifecta, running this dumpster fire. But we might be running on all four tires might be burning tonight at some point if Poot's feeling up to it. Beef, let's go ahead and get into this episode by sponsoring the thankings.
Of course, I would like to 100% thank our initial and first and awesome sponsor, and Sean Tischler, and just in a broad sense, everything that he's done with his work with IWC and bringing IWC to Clearfield so many times. Obviously, we're there for the 10th anniversary show, and I'm sure we look forward to future shows as well. So he does a lot for that burnout hole up there in the middle of the state. So we appreciate all the things that he's done to bring wrestling to the less cultured up there. We also appreciate our wonderful sponsor and team member.
Uppercut!
That's the one.
See, there
Tiger
you go.
Bomb Tom, and his page over on Facebook, Casual Gaming Dad, and it's more than just Facebook. Really, it's the Twitch, it's the YouTube, it's an experience. It is the Tiger Bomb Tom Casual Gaming Dad experience featuring Tiger Bomb Tom. Always some wonderful content on the page. Be it the retro gaming stuff. So you're doing some Super Metroid here, which
killed it.
I fucking hate that game. I fucking hate that game because I remember I sat down and watched Ransom play through it here way back when our relationship was first blooming, and pissed me off to no end because I could beat Metroid with no problem, but Super Metroid fucking frustrated the hell out of me.
Now, see, it boggles my mind because I know we mentioned this last time whenever I said the game was coming up for the league for the week, which I already made my run. I did it. I beat the game under 2 hours. I got all the suit upgrades. That was the criteria was beat the game or beat as many bosses / mini bosses as you could in a 2 hour time span. And once 2 hours hits, that's it. You stop. And then you bring up your menu screen and see how many of the suit upgrades and beams that Samus has, not counting missiles and energy tanks and all that other crap. But so I did it. I almost botched it at the end though. Ooh. I almost fucked it up real big time. But I know we talked about that before, but it boggles me because Super Metroid actually has a map so you can track where you're going, whereas regular Metroid is like just here you go.
It's like it plops you down in the middle of this maze and goes figure it out.
Exactly.
That's
much like
general
the Legend of
consensus.
Zelda.
Is that Super Metroid is like, I don't want to say easier, but more streamlined.
I'll tell you, it's
than the original Metroid. And I don't know, man. Like I just some of those NES carts, man, I could just those were the days where you had to, if you were going to play Mega Man, unless you wanted to write down those stupid bubble codes, you had to sit down and finish it in one day. So that was that.
Do you know how many different pieces of notebook paper I had stuffed in the sleeves of my head? Mm-hmm. Listen, I tell you right now, and I think Ransom can probably attest to this. Mm-hmm. In the little black NES sleeves that you give it was like that, like the little half sleeve thing. And that you put the game in to keep it from getting damaged and dust filled or whatever. So I'd have the game, I'd have the instruction booklet, and for Super Mario Brothers 3, I had a piece of paper folded up numerous times over. I had all the solutions to the Card House games written down because I sat there and I figured it out, and I got it down to a science where it was like, okay, flip over the first card in the upper left. If it's a mushroom, it's like one of two possibilities. If it's a flower, it's one of two possible scenarios. Same thing. Because there were 6 different games total. So
yep.
Oh yeah.
I did the same thing, but Nintendo Power had a special, and I think I have
they did.
Kind of sort of like an eidetic memory. I won't say I do because my memory is fading terribly at a rate that I'm not comfortable with. But I could absorb something very, very quickly and recall that. And it's still lodged in there somewhere where I know if the bottom left is a fire flower and you go up a row and 4 in and it's a fire flower, I'm pretty sure I could probably ace that in one shot.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I have a. Again, probably not failing nearly as fast as yours is. I hope not.
Wow.
But I have a fairly photographic memory myself. Hey, speaking of photographic, so I didn't post the pictures up yet, but since we were talking about IWC, what?
Hold on.
What?
The only way to introduce this is by having a moment of silence for the era of Argos.
Okay, let's do that.
Don't be
For
upset.
the homie.
Oh,
Don't be upsetty, because the era of Bard Ghosts still goes on.
Oh God.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
No, hey
My
guys.
client is still kicking.
No matter what sickness comes for me, no matter what happens to me, I am still your reigning,
That's right.
defending,
Yes, sir.
undisputed.
Yes, let's hear it.
Chooserweight champion of the P3 podcast, and many sad and my thoughts go out to Jackson Argos. The era of Argos, it was too shortly lived.
Man, let me tell you what. I went to the show Saturday night and took the kids. It was part of my daughter's birthday present. And number one, as you guys know, the experience in itself. This was now my second indie show, which is really awesome. Talking to all the wrestlers there in general that were out and about. They got pictures with Katie Arquette, Xander Gabriel, which to my daughter's credit, she just went over to the merch table and picked up the googly eye headband. I was like, well, I guess we're fucking buying that now. So thankfully, so they were like $2 for $5. I was like, well, you get one, your brother gets one. So
She
why
knows how
not?
to do it.
I'm glad to contribute to Mr. Xander Gabriel's fun there. And it was nice. I thanked him for following me on Instagram. He's like, you're a gamer, so I kind of had to. And I was like, yeah. And then they also got a picture with Mandime. And then Johnny Patch. It's now my cover photo on my Facebook page. They got a picture with Johnny Champ. Wow, Johnny Patch holding the IWC Super Indie Championship. So
Nice.
that was really cool. Which I gotta say, it was a great show. I'm not gonna break down each match or anything like that, but I will say the standout matches of the night for me were Johnny Patch and Angelic for the Super Indie Championship. That was a really, really good match. Sean Phoenix and Atticus. I think it was Atticus Cougar.
Atticus Jackson.
No, Atticus Cougar. What the dick? No, that was a really cool match. They had a big surprise return. I guess Sean Phoenix's brother came back and turned heel and basically joined up with Culmination. So and another big, and then another big heel turn of the night. Big John McChesney turned heel and is now reforming Team Big League. So it's him, Mandime, and also Zach Nystrom.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good little stable.
Let's not forget the dime piece. I mean, you can't leave the dime piece out of there either. You know?
she's there.
Oh,
So,
wow, I figured. You know what, Tom? I think
I
our little Tiger Bomb's grown up.
No, I still would, but anyways, I just left it unsaid because she's a dime piece, so obviously she's a dime. She's a 10. It's implied.
Yeah,
it's an implied I would, but anyways,
implied would.
Implied would.
Plus,
I have to be.
Tom,
I got to be careful with that because I'm Facebook friends with both of them now. So I don't.
Oh shit! There you go.
No ill will.
And plus, go ahead, man. I was the main event. You got to talk about the dude, man.
Yeah. Oh man. Even before that, the tag match with the Regulators and the North was good. Thank God that the IWC tag team titles are back in IWC specifically, not just faffing around traveling with the North. Although to digress real quick, the North has another tag team title match coming up here this Saturday with Rise Wrestling. I can't remember who the team is that they're facing. You can go back and reference towards the end of the interview that I had with Lola Bradbury last week. But I was saying, I was like, if the North had retained Saturday night, they would have, and if they were to win, here at Rise, they'd have, titles across 3 different companies. That'd be quite an accomplishment.
That's huge.
Yeah. But that was a really fun match. It was really cool, and I love Officer Dan and his whistle and everything. That thing just it fucking cracks me up the whole time. And then the main event, Argos and Jack Pollock, man, fucking amazing.
A2 Dupree, A2.
I know, fucking. So basically, the one thing I will break down with it. So. The whole thing was if RC Dupree interfered, he was suspended. I don't know if it's indefinitely for a certain amount of time or what. In any case, before it got to that point, Argos looked like he was going to blatantly get himself disqualified. He was like shoving the ref, and he's like, "Do it." He's pointing. He's like, "Ring the fucking bell. I don't care." And he picked up his title and he started to walk away, and he got up to the entrance, and old Justin Plummer come out and he's like, no. He's like, "You're not doing this at my promotion on the biggest show of the year or anything like that." He's like, "We're going to have a definitive winner. No DQ, no rules." He's like, "Get your ass back down there or you automatically forfeit your title."
Wow.
So it then turned into no disqualification match, which is, I think I sent I can't remember if I sent it to you guys, but they ended up coming out literally right behind us and stuff, which was cool. And my kids dug that. Awesome. Like, I was surprised. Like, they were kind of fading there towards the end. My son's like, "Can we go home?" I was like, "We have the main event. You will hold on and you will sleep in the car." And
Dad of the year.
I know. No, I was like, "You can make it, bud." I was like, "We got one more match." I was like, "And it's gonna be the best one." And and it definitely, thankfully, they didn't make me a liar. So after they faffed around out in the crowd for a little while, they came back into the ring. Some weapons were introduced. Then RC comes down and he's there, and you got Pollock on one end and Argos on the other, and he's kind of there in the middle, and he looks at Argos. He's like, I have to do this. And he hits Pollock. And so there's the interference, but then again, it's no DQ. So like, what do you do? I don't know how they're going to play that storyline out, but hits Pollock with the chair, and then you're waiting for it. And I'm like, is he going to do it? Hits Argos with the chair, and they like gives like a F you to both of them, walks off, and Plummer's like at the entranceway, like, "Get the hell out of here," and then the match continued from there, and fucking Pollock took it, man. It was a great way to wrap up the storyline that was going on with them and everything like that. It sucks to see an awesome reign come to an end, but I'm sure it's not going to be his last.
Oh, we have to.
Maybe. The IWC Reloaded is going to be January 18th, and I'm going to try.
That's the reset button, right? That's like the Money in the Bank thing where they have the reset button, which is basically they can cash in. And I don't know exactly the rules of it, but yeah, that's like the reset button thing. So yeah, man.
I know I don't know anything about it because obviously I'm just now getting into all the IWC stuff. But yes, I do know that is the reset button because they kind of like push that fact, and you never know who's going to show up or this and that. I imagine it's going to lead to a triple threat. So we'll see what happens with that. But before then, I'm going to try to see if I can get Johnny Patch on for an interview. And
Johnny Super Champ.
Yes, because he offered it to me. He said, if you guys need an interview on the podcast or anything anytime, let me know. I was like, fuck yes. Absolutely. So
the IWC Super Indian Champ, yes, please.
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely.
So let me ask you this, Tom. If you putting the Clearfield X show and this show, up against each other, what was the better show?
Honestly, I can't really choose. It's kind of a tie because because the Clearfield show, we were there front row. I got to slap hands with everybody and interact a little bit more. But they were both special in their own way. Like, this was a bigger show with like more titles on the line and stuff. You had a women's title match as well. So, I mean, it's hard to say. It was, they were just both special in their own way. So it's very close to call.
Nice.
But like I mentioned, Rise Wrestling, I had the interview with Lola Bradbury last week. So Rise Wrestling is having their 3rd anniversary show this Saturday. You can go back onto the old episode and get the details from all that. And then this Sunday we got TLC, boys. And you know what? I haven't watched like any wrestling this last week at all. I am fucking slacking.
We've got predictions.
We do
that we need to get out here tonight. Who's got the list?
I do. As per the usual.
You know what pisses me off? It feels like Vince is trying to submarine us because, like, I read an article online the other day that says Vince isn't concerned about putting the matches out before a pay-per-view anymore because he feels that since they're on the network sells itself. And it's like, yeah, that's great, except for, guys like us who are trying to do predictions and, have fucking nothing to go off of.
Every big wrestling YouTube channel talked about that. Like, they were like, so what do we do now? We all have to do it at the 11th
Fuck you
hour.
Guys, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's Vince doing what he does. He likes to stick it to people, whether they're big or small.
So if matches get added in as we go, we can add it to the table if we want.
Oh, of course. But we can pick the sticks that are there now, and
we'll pick what's available now, and we can add stuff as we go. It's not that hard for me to insert a line or two and fucking put in Bobby Magoo versus blah 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 fuckface and
they ain't putting Bobby anything anywhere.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Bobby's gonna be up for 60 days or 30 days or whatever 30
it is. Days. Yeah,
we'll get to that though. We'll get to that.
Tom, you want to start us off and start running down this list?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it, Steve.
Right.
Dave.
Here we go. I'm going to start off with our liege, Le Champion, Poot the Bard. The first match I got is Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. No crazy stipulations.
I don't see a world in which Aleister Black loses to Buddy Murphy. I don't. Like, I'm sorry. I love Buddy Murphy, and I believe his ceiling is, if booked right, which, WWE does that all the time, is astronomically high. But still, it's Aleister Black. I think Buddy Murphy would give him a good fight, but it's going to be Black.
Yeah. Beef.
Echoing the sentiments, I love Murphy, but it's going to be Black.
Ransom.
Same, Aleister Black.
Depending on how these picks go, if we do all end up picking the same, we can just call it a non-title match.
Ooh, I like that.
I mean, it could happen. It very well may happen at some point. You never know. But I'm also picking Aleister Black. Same thing. Who was it that Black fought at the one pay-per-view? Was it him and Cesaro?
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's gonna be the same way. So, all right. So, next one, WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and it's gonna be a TLC match. It's the Kabuki Warriors versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Beef, you are up to pick, sir.
Oh, I got a bad feeling on this one. I'm gonna pick the Kabuki Warriors because I think I'm always a proponent of having an actual tag team beat not a tag team. But I get a feeling I could be wrong on this one. But I'm picking the Kabuki Warriors to win.
Okay, Ransom.
Who are the champions?
The Kabuki Warriors. That's Asuka and Kairi Sane.
Currently, are either Charlotte or Becky Lynch singles champions?
Yes. Becky is the Raw Women's Champion still.
Okay, I'm going to go with Kabuki Warriors.
And as am I, Kabuki. God bless you, Gazoon tight. Poot.
The little bit of Raw and SmackDown I caught, and I'm not going to opine on this forever, but it would make sense for Becky and Charlotte to go over simply because Kairi Sane and Asuka have been getting one over on them for a while. Yeah, they've been getting it.
Getting it.
For a while. Seriously, they have. So, I mean, it would make sense, but I think I'm going to say Charlotte and Becky. I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't want no non-title crap. If I lose my title, I want it to be in a good way. I'm going to go with them. They're going to win, but I think it's going to be a schmoz at the end. I think it's going to be they win by DQ or something.
Well, it's a TLC
It can't
match.
be TLC.
Oh, it's a TLC match.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a dumbass. Never mind. Man, I'm really trying here.
That's okay. It's okay. Got you.
See, now thinking about that, I didn't think there was a stipulation or anything. I'll go with the Warriors. I'll go out on a limb later on in the card, but
Okay.
we'll go with the Warriors.
Okay, Kabuki Warriors. All right, next one. Now, this is a regular tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We got the New Day versus the Revival. Ransom, you're up to pick first.
New Day are champions, right?
Correct. New Day are the current champions.
I don't see them taking it off a New Day to put it on the Revival. I would love it if they did, but I don't think they're gonna. So I'm gonna say New Day.
I got agree with you, and the only reason I could see the Revival winning, and I want to pick them in a way, but the only reason I could see the Revival winning is so they can eventually put the titles back on the New Day, and the New Day can be the most successful tag team champions of all time in WWE over the Dudleys. So a homegrown team getting the record, but I'm gonna pick New Day on this one. I don't feel like they're gonna lose it on this platform. Poot.
When is Xavier Woods due back?
That is the great unknown. It's supposedly going to be a long time.
Yeah, I don't know with him. It's hard to say.
What exactly happened with him? I don't mean to stall here.
It was
but
no, it's
curious.
okay. It was an ankle injury. It was like he was just doing a simple he reversed out of a back suplex, like kind of flipped over, and then I think he leapfrogged and he just it just landed and popped wrong or something. That's all. Like,
Well, I know
similar to almost, I would say, like, how whenever Seth Rollins killed his ACL or MCL.
Well, see,
yeah, killed his knee.
Here's the idea. It's the end of the year. I could see the Revival taking it, hanging onto the belts until Xavier Woods is ready to go, and they'll drop it at Mania.
That's if Woods is ready to go by Mania. I don't know when he's ready to go.
Man, because it was back in the summer when he hurt himself. If it's a whole year that he's out,
I don't know.
You know what?
I haven't heard anything, but go ahead.
This is where I'll start going out on a limb. I'm going to say the Revival just because reasons.
Okay.
I'm going to stand by that. They go hard, I go hard. All day, all night.
Giggity. Beef.
This was going to be my out on a limb, but yeah, I'm going to pick the Revival too. They're still on the fence. They still haven't signed contracts. You got to keep them happy so they stick around. Otherwise, they're going to go to AEW. So the Revival win here and probably drop the New Day in 3 weeks, but whatever.
Okay. Next one, Rusev versus Bobby Lashley. Of course, with Lana in valet. This is a tables match. So I'm up to pick first. I'm going to say Rusev gets this because he's been getting a little. He got kind of the last laugh a little bit, but for too long he was downtrodden and with all the bullshit that was going on. So I'm going to pick Rusev on this. Poot.
Number one, I want to hear everyone. Robert's Rules of Order. Say I if you actually give a fuck about any of this. Okay, no one cares about this feud. Cool. That's great. I'm going to go with Rusev because he has to get one over. He has to.
Yep. Beef?
God willing, this is the end of the stupid fucking feud. Rusev wins. Lana's like, oh, you know what? I do love you. End of story. Let's just fucking forget about it. Much like Katie Vick, let's just sweep it under the rug. So I'm picking Rusev.
And Ransom.
Yeah, I'm going to echo Beef there. This, dear God in heaven, this has to be the end of this bullshit, stupid-ass storyline feud. This has to be the end. It's ridiculous, and it's stupid. So I'm going to say Rusev, please just let it be over.
Okay. Next one. Now, this is in all accounts from what I'm seeing on Wikipedia or WWE's website, this is not a title match, but we have Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. And Poot is up to first to pick on this
come
one.
on.
And I'm sorry, man. That's just the way the rotation went, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Man, I really feel like this isn't for the belt or anything, right?
Not at all. No, this is just the Miz apparently, not again, because I didn't watch this past week's SmackDown, like from just the whatever how many days ago. But apparently, after the previous week, whenever the Fiend dragged Daniel Bryan to hell under the ring and started ripping his hair out or pubes or whatever he was throwing out, I don't know. Fucking this week, the Miz was like, "What the hell happened to Daniel Bryan? I demand answers." And Bray Wyatt was just kind of like started involving Miz's family or whatever and stuff. Apparently, it was a very Bray Wyatt heavy SmackDown, so I may have to still go back and watch it.
Man, this is tough because I feel like it would behoove WWE to have Miz. This could be a way to rebuild the Fiend, like have Bray Wyatt look weak and have it push the Fiend into a new territory that's kind of a return to a serious thing, more visceral, more guttural, less kind of goofy comedy with the Fiend. You know what I mean? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Miz.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think this could be a thing where it's tough, but I'm just going to say the Miz. And if I lose, I'm going to chalk this up to me being fucking like sick and 500 miles away.
Okay. Beef.
I just hope we see the return of the Yam Drag Man, the American Dragon. I want to see him like with all the hair shaved off, with the beard shaved off. I want to see fucking no nonsense Daniel Bryan come back and just beat the shit out of Wyatt. But that being said, I am picking Bray Wyatt in this because I think that even though he's not the Fiend, wins and losses still count for Bray at this point. So I think Wyatt still has to win.
Okay. Ransom?
Once again, I'm going to have to echo Beef's sentiment. If you, yes, the Fiend and Bray Wyatt, they're trying to, their alter egos, whatever they're trying to do, pushing this and that. But you can't have the Fiend being this horrific, scary phenom, for lack of a better word, and then you feed Bray Wyatt to the Miz. I don't think it's going to work. And if it happens, I'm telling you, the steak dinner is pretty much gone for you guys. if they feed Bray Wyatt to the Fiend, or if they feed Bray Wyatt to the Miz, no, what a giant mistake that's going to be. So I'm going to say Bray Wyatt.
I would say if they feed Bray Wyatt to the Fiend, man, that adds a whole nother layer of shit.
That'll be like that whole Kane versus Kane or Undertaker versus Underfaker. Who knows?
I'm with you guys. I'm with you and Beef. I say Bray Wyatt in this case. It's still the fact that he, I don't know. The wins still matter in this case. All right, and then the last match that's listed. It's a
real
TLC.
Quick. When the hell was Miz's last pay-per-view match? He wasn't in Survivor Series, I don't think. I don't think he was on Summer, or he may have been on SummerSlam against Shane McMahon. But he's
that was Kevin Owens.
At all, right?
Kevin Owens was against Shane McMahon on SummerSlam.
What? I mean, the Miz has done literally nothing at all recently. Why the hell is he in a title match?
It's not a title match.
It's not a title match.
Okay. Why is he facing the champion? It doesn't add up. So for him to beat Wyatt, I just don't see it.
It could be. I'm sorry, Tom. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
It could be, like I said, a vehicle, like Beef said about having Amdrag come back.
Yep.
And this would cause the Miz to go over. You know what I mean?
Is this just a straight up match? This isn't a tables, chairs, or something match?
Correct. Yep.
No,
just a regular singles match.
Basic bitch match.
You having second thoughts?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I can tell you this: if the American Dragon shows up, I'm sorry. If there's a ref knockoutage, if the ref gets knocked out, I'm calling it right now. American Dragon showing up, or Daniel Bryan, whatever the fuck you want to call him. If the ref gets knocked out, Daniel Bryan's showing up.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think basically Miz is in it just for his connection to Daniel Bryan. with them being adversaries over the years and stuff like that, and that they're gonna now become friends again in this, like, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of thing, and you know what I mean. All right, last match, TLC match, Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. All hail King Corbin. Beef, who you picking?
I think I'm different enough from you guys. I'm gonna pick Roman Reigns.
Okay. Ransom.
Yeah, I can't see them. Once again, has nothing to do with protecting Roman Reigns. He doesn't need protecting, but I can't see them feeding. I can't see them feeding Roman Reigns to Baron Corbin. Like I just can't. So I'm gonna say Roman.
I'm also gonna say Roman Reigns, only for the fact that I think it's gonna be now the thing to start building him up for the Royal Rumble. So I pick Roman Reigns in this one because, like I said, I mean, I know I was the only one that was pulling for King Corbin the whole time to win King of the Ring. I told you it happened, but in this case, Corbin getting to win, no, not happening this time. Poot, close it out.
Lol, Roman wins.
Yep.
So as of yet, we're going to have an entire pay-per-view with 0 top belt defenses. The Fiend's not defending, and Brock Lesnar's not defending.
Correct.
Well, once again, WWE knocking it out of the park.
I mean, unless something happens on SmackDown, and again, you know, that could happen in the next couple of days here. Something happens on SmackDown, we get, you know, a brand new match. Wyatt could be pulling double duty that night for all we know. Daniel Bryan could come back Friday night, challenge the Fiend and again for another title match. You know, who knows?
That'd be a great, that would be awesome. Although I read that Bryan has a lot of creative control in this particular feud. Not that he wants to put himself over, but he doesn't want to rush it. So it was his choice to not have Bryan versus Fiend at TLC. He wants to kind of drag it out a little bit.
Smart on him.
It's smart. You gotta sell whatever, you know, him being dragged to hell. Same way that not to get into too much other faffery with Raw and whatnot, but what they did with I just talked about with you guys on the chat, what they're doing with Seth Rollins and the whole Kevin Owens thing. They could have dragged it out a little bit longer, and if they're smart, they will not have Kevin Owens show up Sunday for a match because they need to sell. I didn't watch it yet, but I was listening. I heard about it from one of the other podcasts. That I guess Seth Rollins gave a pretty convincing like curb stomp on the concrete or whatever to Owens on Raw, and you know is now aligned himself with AOP or whatever. Like officially, they could have.
Oh, is that official?
I think so. Yeah,
because I saw the promo in the middle of the night where he was like, you know what? If I have to prove to you that I'm not with AOP to walk away, then I'm gonna walk away right now and let you do your thing with AOP. So that's interesting.
Well, yeah, I guess later on they found him like he was sitting in the back of like their SUV or something like that, and it was just kind of like I don't know. I didn't see it, but I kind of like heard about it, and yeah, he apparently gave a pretty damn convincing curb stomp to Owens. So if they're smart, they'll milk that and have him, you know, be out for a little bit with, you know, concussion or facial injuries or whatever.
They should have pulled that trigger so long ago. Like they should have. Like,
but with this storyline, you could have had some twists and turns a little bit. You know, it could have been done. It could have been done either way, but I would have liked to seen it drawn out a little bit and just, you know, kind of leave it on a cliffhanger of it, you know, like you think, you know, but then maybe they throw you a little bit of curve to kind of maybe guess you otherwise, but then eventually, ultimately, it ends up being, you know, Rollins is with AOP or whatever, and good for them because AOP is going to get a nice rub from being with Rollins. So,
is Paul Ellering still with AOP?
No, he hasn't been for a while.
No. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a bummer.
Like they came up to the main roster and like they had a match with him as their manager, and then they dismissed him as their manager, so he was gone.
Which is
That's a
so
bummer.
sad because man, what a mouthpiece.
Because Vince McMahon. By the way, for all of our listeners, again, all three of you out there, and for you three jerks out there, May of 2019 was the Miz's last pay-per-view match at Money in the Bank when he faced Shane McMahon.
Wow.
So yeah, we're talking 7 months, and suddenly he's facing the WWE champ or the Universal Champion. So
Like
He was
I
off
said,
doing Ms. Dad things.
that's true.
well, that's why I'm throwing it, because like you have the wild card factor.
The what?
The wild card.
Wild card!
God,
It took me. I think it took us all a second
Don't
to
make me
catch
laugh
that.
right now, guys. Seriously.
He's gonna puke. He's gonna puke.
I might actually.
Shut up, you.
The bar's gonna blow. Uppercut.
Oh.
Hurtful. The no, I like just having that factor of Daniel Bryan in there. I really think that he would be the difference maker. The Fiend, not the Fiend. Bray Wyatt loses, and the Miz gets one over, and it's this big shock. Like we haven't seen the Miz in so long. That's the what's rolling around in old Pooter's head.
Honestly,
Yeah, but for every good thing that they're doing, like I dig this American Dragon Daniel Bryan Fiend thing. They proved that they can go. They had a great match at Survivor Series. I don't recall, but they had a really good match. But for every like great thing that they're doing, later in the show they have Baron Corbin dumping dog food on Roman Reigns because he's a heel and Roman's the big dog and it's dog food. Get it? Dog food.
That was
Get it?
so stupid. That was so
That was the same.
stupid.
It's just the same thing as having The Rock give freaking British Bulldog rock bottom into a tray of dog poop.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Same thing.
hey,
back-
at least it's
back
not.
then-
At least there's not a Kennel from Hell match. Okay.
back then,
Well, yet.
back
Yeah,
then,
just wait. They'll do something stupid.
back then the thing is like you
Kennel from
could
Hell.
get away with that stuff because you had someone like The Rock who could make that something that you didn't sit there and go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" You know what I mean?
That's right.
I can tell you the only I remember clear as day. I can't tell you what happened on that episode of SmackDown. All I can tell you is I remember clear as day. The Rock Bottom gives the British Bulldog, or The Rock gives the British Bulldog the Rock Bottom into that tray of dog poop.
The bottom
And I
gives
think
The
this- I
Rock
think-
poop a British bomb.
I think this is where my hatred for Michael Cole started, because it's burnt into my memory. I can remember clear as day. As soon as that happened, Michael Cole, you can hear him on the mic. The dog poop, the dog poop, the Rock Bottom into the dog poop, the dog poop, over and over and over again. I think right then and there it was like, you know what, Michael Cole, if I had a free pass, I would be the sniper in the bell tower. I would take you out.
It's the big dump.
The dog poop, the dog poop, Rock Bottom into the dog
no.
poop.
Anybody-
I hate you.
Anybody still miss the Attitude Era?
Right?
Beef.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
no. Listen, you're not going to get me on this conversation.
I know.
But here's the thing. At least, and I feel bad because I haven't watched SmackDown in months. Like I'm being true to my. I'm being true to my word. I'm trying to like remove myself from the product, and I keep giving it chances, and I keep like shaking my head, going, "Why did I do this?" Like, so like I'll pop in on Raw every now and again whenever it's a bad Monday Night Football game, like this week, and like at least SmackDown has some good things going for it. Man, Raw's just not good. Just
So, listen, speaking of things that are not good, it seems like there are a lot of people from what the internet, again, grain of salt, from what the internet seems to be saying, there's a lot of people who now seem to be jumping on the bandwagon of, hey, you know what? WWE just released 3 people. Maybe I could be next. Maybe I could get my release. And maybe the Revival don't want the tag team titles because maybe they see greener pastures elsewhere already. They've had, what, three
4.
releases this way? 4.
Yep.
4.
Who's the
That's
fourth?
right. 4 releases.
They had Luke Harper. They had Sin
Yeah.
Cara. Well, okay. I'm counting 4 people. Sorry. Yeah, the Ascension. They had.
I
a
forgot about
tag
Connor
team.
Victor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right on.
So 4 people released, but yes, three quote unquote releases: a tag team and 2 singles wrestlers. So yeah, sorry about that.
So I don't really give a shit about the Ascension. I was never able to get into them.
They were great. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think are they still the longest reigning NXT tag team champions?
I have no idea on that.
Well, that'll come up in hot tag trivia next week.
Yes.
I think DIY held it for a long time too, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't think as long as the Ascension. I think the Ascension was still keynote.
Yeah, that was back in like that was back in like baby NXT, like
yeah.
like in literally its infancy. So like I wasn't around for it. I remember you telling me that I would really be into them. And I kind of like missed them. Like I saw them lose to the Lucha Dragons, and then I saw them get to the main roster, and I was like, what the fuck are these guys?
Well, here's the thing. The thing that they fucked up with them coming up to the main roster is in one of their promos, they mentioned the Road Warriors, and then that's the first thing you thought of is they're just a washed out version of the Road Warriors, and that was it. They were dead in the water since then.
And that was the problem, is that when they were in NXT, no one thought that. Because their presentation was a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Was a lot more enigmatic and a lot more kind of intimidating.
And this is going back to the dog food thing. Vince is very much a lowest common denominator guy. He wants to get connections at the most base level. So like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg, they have all this great fucking thing going on in NXT. What's going on with Finn Balor? Is he with the Undisputed Era, or is he on his own? Is he the Prince? There are so many questions and so many layers of shit that you have to kind of sift through on NXT. That's really good shit, not a pun intended. But Vince,
good shit.
But Vince is very much like good shit. Like, hey, let's dump dog food on Roman Reigns because he's the big dog. Hey, let's draw fans' attention to the fact that the Ascension is like the Road Warriors. Like he doesn't have the patience, and that's what really bugs me.
So with these 4 releases, there's a couple things I want to ask you guys about. Firstly, with these 4 releases, do you think this is the beginning of a wider exodus of WWE superstars who are unhappy and have seen, hey, you know what? I could hit up New Japan. I could hit up Ring of Honor. Look at this bright, shining star on the horizon. I could hit up NXT. Look at how happy these other guys who used to be in WWE are now that they're no longer in this WWE universe anymore. Do you think we see a wider exodus of superstars requesting their release because they see, you know what? These 4 guys got to go. Maybe I'll get to go too.
I have a bigger question for you, but I'll answer yours first. So, here's the thing. Everybody in WWE right now is like, I'm a hot commodity. The internet talks about me constantly. Mike Kanellis being a prime example, where he thinks that it's going to be greener pastures. I have no reason to believe that AEW wants anything to do with Mike Kanellis. I have no reason to believe that New Japan wants anything to do with Mike Kanellis. Will he find work? Of course. Will he show up in one of those places? Maybe. I don't know. But like Cody has made it clear that he said back before the first, even before Double or Nothing, he said that AEW, there's a handful of guys that, quote unquote, that they have that we're interested in. A handful of guys. So that tells me that, like, all these people who are sitting there, like, salivating over the fact that they could be, an AEW talent, I think are mistaken. And if they think that they're going to go to Japan and get the Jon Moxley treatment, that's not going to fucking happen, because Jon Moxley is a fucking, like, unicorn. Because that shit, like, if you watch or you pay attention to New Japan at all, you know that the Gaijin, which is the English American wrestlers that go to Japan, don't get over right away.
No,
unless they're a huge. Yeah, fucking Juice Robinson's still over. Look at Lance Archer. He's another one that's been cutting his teeth for like 5 years. Like, these guys bust their ass in the dojos and bust their ass on shows. John Moxley has the fucking credentials to say, "Hey, I'm a fucking former WWE champion, and I'm a main event player. You're gonna book me well." And same with Jericho. But like, these guys, and God love him, Luke Harper. I love Luke Harper, and I think that he would have a wonderful place in New Japan. I don't know that they would like necessarily usher him in as like the next coming of fucking Okada.
Did you see the picture that Marty Scurll put up with Darby Allin, Darby Allin's girlfriend, and Luke Harper?
No.
And it said Villain Club ?
That's fucking entertaining to me.
Right?
That is sports entertaining to me.
Dude, that is wildly sports entertaining, and I think that would be the best evolution of the Villain Club I could possibly imagine. And like you said, but here's the benefit that we could see. Yeah, okay, these people might not be going to AEW, they might not be going to New Japan, they might not be welcome with open arms in those places. However, you know where they might be welcome with open arms once they get their shit together? Raw.
Yeah.
Or I mean, right now, Raw is so far off the radar. I think MLW is higher than Raw. I think that NWA Power is higher than Raw. Like, these guys have television deals. I forget what I think MLW might be like internet exclusive, but like these guys have weekly shows. Raw, well, yes, they have weekly shows. Like, I feel like no one really pays attention to Raw, which is a fucking crying shame, given the history of that promotion. But like, yes, these guys will find a home. Here's my question I want to pose to Yins.
Hold on, whoa. Pump the brakes here. I don't think any one of you three idiots answered my question about, do you see more wrestlers requesting their release from WWE?
I
just want to get that.
I honestly, I don't necessarily see it, because I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think that they're gonna believe that they can actually get it. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna look at some of these ones that are like, all right, well, this was like a, kind of a rare opportunity, and I don't think that they're gonna do that for me. Honestly, I don't know how many of them want to, because I feel like the people that got released, like your Luke Harper or whatever, like Luke Harper is somebody who I feel like there's certain wrestlers who I feel value the creative control more than they do the money, like John Moxley. I don't see some of the other ones, like a lot of the other people that are there. I don't see like a Zack Ryder being somebody like, I need creative freedom. No, he's somebody who will just take the paycheck. That's the impression that I get. I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, Zack Ryder, please. But come on the podcast and tell me I'm wrong.
I think it's TBD right now, because I think once we see what happens with this first wave of releases, and I think that the wrestlers in WWE are doing the same thing. They're going to see, what happens with Luke Harper, what happens with the Ascension, what happens with Sin Cara, and other guys who are nearing the end of their contract. They're going to see how welcome they are before they make their jump. So as of right now, I'm going to say no effect is going to be caused on the WWE main roster.
And I'll say this: it even though AEW has said that they may only be interested in a handful, it might behoove them. Is that, I don't know what English?
Behoove?
Yeah, it might behoove them.
Behoove.
It might be in their best interest to take on some people that they maybe hadn't considered at first, just to kind of say like, hey, look at what we can do with the talent that you couldn't do something with. And now AEW is like the good guy place. It's the quote unquote safe space for all the forgotten wrestlers of the WWE or anywhere. It's like, hey, if you're not happy wherever, we can do something with you. It's kind of almost like a Dark Order sort of recruiting sort of thing. But again, I don't think you're going to see a mass any sort of mass exodus right away, because Vince will do what he's got to do. If he has to dig a little bit deeper into his pocketbooks, he will. You'll start seeing NXT get involved a lot more, as we already have with Survivor Series. Something will something will happen. Vince will not let let that many people go all at once or whatever.
What do you think?
What was your question going to be? Oh, sorry.
Well, I want to hear Poot's take on this real quick. Well, not real quick, whatever.
On what, the releases and stuff?
Yeah. Whether or not you think it's going to be a mass exodus.
I don't think
not mass exodus, but are we going to see more people requesting releases?
I think you'll see more after. I think you'll see more after WrestleMania. I don't like it as is tradition would dictate, but like I think that once Rumble time comes around, it'll kind of die down, and then after Mania, once the reset button hits, that's when people will be like, all right, let's get out of here. I think we'll also see a Bloody Sunday, as they would say, like, what was it always, the week after WrestleMania, they would announce like a giant litany.
Yeah, Black Monday or whatever.
Black Monday. Like, I think we would be more apt to see that post WrestleMania than we would seeing people get releases, because I think a lot of wrestlers are smart enough now to let their contracts run up versus
requesting a release.
Requesting releases or rocking the boat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
because not only that, but if they let their, and I'm sorry, but if they let their contract run out, they can do what Moxley did. He was kind of buried on WWE the last month he was there, but he rode the momentum from WWE 25, 30 days later onto another promotion. In fact, 2 major promotions, versus having to be released, wait 90 days, and then, pick up where you left off,
Right.
So
Beef, what was your question?
So, and kind of to mention just real quick about what you said there, Ransom, about the releases, Tony Khan has said on record that he kind of regrets going after the big money contracts. So I think you might see a little bit of a settle down, because I think the AEW might kind of be happy where they're at, but always looking to increase. But here's my question: the fact that Vince has let 2 pretty high caliber, I will call Sin Cara high caliber. I think that Hunico did a lot with the character, and he was better than the original Sin Cara, at least in
wasn't even close to his botchy.
I'm sorry, but what?
He wasn't even as close to being as botchy.
Exactly. He was better in the American style, which is what counted on the American TV. But so like and the Ascension, say what you will, but they were hot in NXT. They've proven that they can be like the guys in a company. So like, to me, these are pretty high profile releases. The fact of, and Luke Harper is the keystone here. The fact that Vince finally gave in and said, you know what, fine, be done with you. We're have a nice life. Best of luck in your future endeavors. Does this mean that Vince does not fear the competition of AEW as he once did only a few months ago?
I think that Vince, they're not on his radar, because I think he's just.
But they were, though. That's the thing.
They were, but I think it's because NXT is proving to be such a good property for him, and they're getting a lot of eyes on the product of NXT, which then subsequently would make people go, oh, well, let's watch the main roster, which I'm sure there are a lot of people that did it that way, or vice versa. It's making a lot of people who only watch main roster go and watch NXT and go, oh, wow, these guys mean business. This is really good. I think that Vince really doesn't have, I don't think he has a concern. And I honestly think that the whole blow up that's going on about like the Wednesday Night Wars and, AEW taking the fight and taking pot shots at WWE and NXT and everything. I think that's done with, because like WWE really has nothing to be afraid of. Like, no offense to AEW, but like, they don't. Like, AEW fills a really good niche, and I think maybe in a couple years, if AEW plays its cards right, then maybe we'll see some like more heated competition and some more real fight back. But I really don't think that we have that right now. I don't think Vince is scared at all. I think he's more focused on trying to do what he thinks is best, which is not necessarily what is best for business.
I'm far be it for me to ever disagree with my champion, but I'm going to disagree with Poot here just for the sake that Beef. Can you restate your question just so I'm clear?
Yeah, so the fact that Vince has released these guys, does that mean... So it's very clear. It was on the record that Vince didn't want to release these guys so that they could go and, wrestle for AEW. So does this from him releasing them mean that he no longer fears the competition of AEW?
Before I'm sorry, Ransom, before you go, one second.
What the hell?
One sec. It's real quick. Also, Vince probably doesn't think any of these guys will make a big difference to AEW at all. That's all I want to say.
You motherfucker, stepping on my point. That I think that is a little bit more, in my opinion, the case. I think that Vince doesn't see these guys as able to do any damage to him or to the WWE, regardless of wherever they go. Whether they go to Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW, BWC, CWA, ABC, CBS, NBC. I don't think
PWX.
Yeah, or even Peloton. Whatever.
VIK.
I don't
Look at Peloton's everywhere. Peloton's coming along in a big way. You watch.
They're not going to beat WWE. I don't think Vince. I think Vince looks at these guys and goes, you know what? They could be solid mid card guys, but he never put any of these guys. Well, I mean, the Ascension was a tag team, so Sin Cara and Luke Harper. He didn't put any of these guys in main titles. They didn't have a WWE Championship match. They weren't in the title hunt. They were mid to high mid card at best in the WWE. So I don't know that he necessarily doesn't fear AEW. I don't think he fears their impact could do anything. I think Vince is one of those guys that goes, if I don't see them as WWE or Universal champions, they're not going to go to AEW and be the AEW champion. They don't have it in them. Even if Luke Harper wrestles under somebody else's name and does, swamp ass wife beater, I just don't think that Vince is going to go, damn it, they're going to ruin me.
Let me retort that real quick.
Woo!
If that's the case, why wouldn't Vince release Luke Harper after WrestleMania, when he first requested his release? God only knows. It could be a number of things. It could be one of those things where it's Luke Harper wants out, and Vince just goes, well, no, screw you. I don't want to give you a release because how dare you? I don't have a very educated guess on why he didn't want to release them. But
it's Vince McMahon. He does what the fuck he wants. It's a power.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, other than that, other than the whole you want to walk away from me, I don't think so. You can go when I tell you can go.
Yeah.
Vince seems like one of those guys where if it's a guy who's feels clearly unhappy there, I'm unhappy with the way my character's going, and I don't, you're not going to put me in a WWE title match. You're not going to give me the strap. I don't want to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, but I want to leave. Vince seems like one of those guys that would just go, no, you can go when I'll tell you can go. And he would delay this request for release up until Vince says, you know what? Now I'm ready. Now you can go. So, people who have shit on Vince McMahon have always said, that Vince McMahon doesn't understand the real world and Vince McMahon doesn't want to live in the real world, so he created his own world. He created his own universe, which is why he calls it the WWE universe. Vince wanted to live. He wanted to be the god of his own universe. And, that's like one of us saying to the god, hey, you know what? I don't feel like doing this anymore in my life. And I want to go this route. And I want you to just give me this. So I think Vince McMahon sees himself as god of this universe. And how dare you want to walk away from me? You can go when I tell you can go. I think basically that's it. Ooh, I just blew a snot bubble.
Random.
Segue.
Like an anime snot bubble.
Oh yeah.
You're just like, oh.
They're so kawaii.
Kawaii ransom. Oh, I want that T-shirt.
Yeah.
I want that T-shirt really bad.
Oh shit.
So before we move on, Poot, do you have an opinion as to what Beef posed?
I already gave it, man. I don't think Vince really fears. I just think he doesn't see people as valuable. I mean, he sees the world in dollars and cents, and he doesn't see the potential in these people. And I mean, look at, for God's sake, he did that with Cody. He did that with Moxley. Yep. Like now,
he didn't see dollar signs with those guys, so he did jack shit with them. And I think it's the same thing with Sin Cara and freaking Luke Harper. He doesn't see dollar signs on him.
I think Hunico goes back to Mexico and is a rock star. I think Luke Harper goes, and literally any indie promotion. I think Luke Harper would be amazing in AEW, especially if the whole Villain Club thing would be real. And you know who I really think would go well in NJPW? Seriously? Because they would fill a void left by War Machine. I really think Ascension would do a good job.
Dude, I was thinking the same fucking thing. You know who would be a great tag team in the void of War Machine? Fucking Ascension. Dude, get out of my fucking head, man.
Look, man, this is why I am le champion of the podcast. For now.
Hey, listen.
For now.
You know, how many gimmicks do you need to steal for your
No,
one
man.
thing?
All of them.
You ain't
Every gimmick.
How dare you speak to the champion that way?
You're definitely not Le Champion. At best, you're Le Champion.
Oh my.
Okay, you know what?
Listen.
I've had enough of the venom that you're spewing out of your mouth, Beef. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. We're going to segue from people spewing venom out of their mouth to people spewing venom into their body and being suspended from WWE.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Good segue.
You know, for a guy who gets on people for stealing his gimmick, you were stealing Tiger Bomb's gimmick of the Segway guy this week.
Ooh.
Once again, Beef, shut your whore mouth.
I will.
Quit spewing your venom and get on board with the pain train.
Listen.
That is my gimmick stealing abilities.
Listen, Beef. I'm going to tell you this right now. You badmouth my advocate again, I'm going to put you in the ground. You hear me? You hear me?
Well, that one.
You hear me,
well,
Joey
that one from
Janela? Oh,
0 to
sorry.
60.
I'm going to delete that tweet right now.
Whoops.
Whoop. Stupid big Cass. Anyway. All right.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's talk about
Stupid big Cass.
Bobby Roode and which cologne was it?
Primo.
Primo.
Was it Primo? Yeah.
I was like, wait, you were like, which cologne was it? Eau de Toilette?
Well, I mean, you know, they're guys who I'm like, wait, they're still employed with WWE? Like, when the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and Primo and Epico haven't been used like for shit for a long time.
Pulling the JTG duty.
No,
you know, just showing up to catering, getting food, and leaving.
Apparently they do house. They're on like the house show circuit all the time.
Oh, okay.
Like
really?
Like yeah. Apparently
Primo,
they work. Like
according to that article, Primo and Epico have been working a lot for their father's promotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
heard that.
Apparently, Vince is cool with with them working from other promotions, mainly because once again, harkens back to the old dollar signs. Vince doesn't see dollar signs in the colognes. So he's going to let them go work for their dad. But freaking Bobby Roode, what are you doing?
well, I mean, dude, seriously, the man is in his 40s. He's had a hell of a career. They're not using him, and he's bored. Like, what do you want him to do?
Well, so drugs. Oh, I'm bored. I have nothing better to do with my life, so drugs.
Look,
I mean, that's usually
not
how
make
it
you real
starts.
marketable.
That's usually
to other
how it
promotions.
starts.
Here's the other thing. You don't know what it was. It could have been. It could have been so that he gets bigger. He could have been using steroids.
Well, I mean,
honestly,
regardless, though, when you get suspended from the wellness policy, isn't it drugs?
well, no, not necessarily, because even it could have been in the case of who was it, Eva Marie. When she got hit on her wellness policy, it was a medication that she had been on like forever, but she failed to there was something with the paperwork, a logistical end of it, like saying that, like, yeah, she's supposed to be on this, and because she didn't have that turned in or something like that, that waiver or whatever, they popped her for it, even though she had been like tested before. So it's like it's not like it wasn't unknown, but just procedural wise, like logistically.
Oh, I see.
So
what you're
it could be something like that. We don't know yet. That's
once again a Vince McMahon power move.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we'll see what happens with that with Bobby, because obviously, I mean, he's a great talent. He was one of the ones that I wanted to see, like when the one time that I was watching TNA / Impact / whatever you want to call it, him and Austin Aries were two of the ones that I was like, man, like if they ever made the jump to WWE, they'd be awesome, like especially in an NXT or something like that. And lo and freaking behold, they were in NXT. But just saying.
I know this is off topic and everything, but like, look, how many times we talked about it, how many times we harkened back to it, and how many times we talked about it again. Like, look at Bobby Roode's NXT run. For me, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was amazing in NXT. And then once again, you get brought over to Raw or SmackDown, freaking just buried an NXT champion, beat Shinsuke Nakamura, freaking nowhere. Like, I just, yep. I can't, I don't understand, like, why?
He's the only titles he's held since he's been on Raw or SmackDown has been the U.S. title and tag team titles. That's it.
Which, to be honest,
I mean, let's. I'm not to turn my nose at it, because any title is something. It's some sort of nod saying, "Here you go, good job." Like, and
let's keep in mind that Roddy Piper only held the Intercontinental title, and he's widely regarded as one of the best ever. So I mean, we got to be careful. But I mean, it is a different time for sure.
Right. But but just saying, like, it's different. Ooh. If you were. It's different if you were somebody like say like a Ric Flair. I know this was something I think Ransom you had brought up, like towards the end of Flair's last legs of his career. They gave him like a IC title or a US title run. And that's fine, because you don't expect like decrepit old fucking Ric Flair to be the face of your company. No, it's not going to happen. But to just give him a nod saying, hey, we respect what you've done, to give him, a step down of a title in the eyes of everything overall. Like I said, any title is good. But when you're somebody who still is new, and in this case with Rude was untapped, really, to go from being the NXT champion to now being, relegated to mid-card obscurity, and then just like, oh, we'll throw a US title on you, and then, oh, we'll throw you a Dolph Ziggler and make you tag team champions for like a hot second. It's kind of like, all right, what the fuck are you doing? And that's the thing. You could argue the point and say like, well, NXT, at that point wasn't necessarily as highly regarded. It was the quote unquote developmental system or whatever. No, like I don't buy that nonsense at all. So, but hey, speaking of somebody who was in NXT and did a lot worse after their exodus, fucking Jordan Miles. Holy shit.
Boy,
this dude has lost his mind.
He apparently got signed by MLW.
Someone
shut up. No way.
Oh yeah, but he left immediately.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, he quit immediately.
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking tick. I have never seen anything saying that WWE has released him yet.
Oh yeah. No, they did.
They did.
Did they?
Oh
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, he went from a guy that I think had a point and was a a figure that you could have sympathy for, okay? To a guy who's lost his fucking mind. The people of his own race, in his own profession, are saying, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chat and harken back to the JTG reference there. Shad took to Twitter. It was basically told him like, listen, dude.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Literally.
Shut the fuck up and do something productive about it, or get the fuck over it. Like, it happened. Like, a mistake was made. Fucking put on your big boy pants and, either like, don't go spouting off like you are like a fucking crazy asshole. Like, do something productive and do something constructive to make your point, or shut the fuck up.
There are people.
You know who this reminds me of?
Lost his marbles.
Austin
Sorry,
Aries.
Yeah, go ahead, Putin.
Well, no, I was gonna say that there are people out there who are saying that his attitude and everything might be to years of buildup of like what's the abbreviation for like concussion trauma and stuff like
CTE.
that? CTE. Like they said
they
said like seriously, it could be from that because he wrestles a really high-paced, aggressive, risky style. And this mentality and attitude could very well be part and parcel to that. But that's, I think, people looking for, like, nobody can be this big of a dick face. You know what I mean? Like,
who he reminds me a lot of?
Who?
He reminds me a lot of Colin Kaepernick. A guy who has a decent amount of talent, who basically said, okay, this is how I'm going to make my way in life. This is how I'm going to make my name is off of this particular thing. And everybody just stepping back and going, whoa, man. Whoa, you've gone way too far, and now no one's going to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, yeah. He's done exactly what Colin Kaepernick did. Is he's pretty much blackballed himself in the wrestling industry. Because, I mean, if you think about it, what big promotion, or even, middle to big promotion, who's going to want to take him?
Yep.
I mean, after this tirade that you went on, after this, all the shit that you've spewed over the internet, and, you've put everybody on blast.
Look,
who in their right mind, what promoter in their right mind is going to go, let's sign this guy?
There will always be small indie, what does Jim Cornette always say? Mud show, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
There will always be small indie promotions that will hire him at the rate he wants because of his name, even if it's just because he'll show up and people will boo the fuck out of him and throw stuff at him. You know what I mean?
That's
small ones will, but like you're never going to make it big.
No,
you're never going to make it big again.
I thought he actually quit wrestling. I thought he actually said he was quitting.
He did, but Enzo said that too. So here we are. I just can't. And again, like we're four very, very, very pale white dudes talking about something that we're probably not qualified to talk about.
No. I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
I think part of the problem is saying like that we shouldn't or can't talk about this stuff.
I didn't say that. I said that we're not qualified because we've never experienced racism.
Really? I mean, racism goes both ways. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, yes, but
I'm not gonna deny the fact that people of African American descent suffer way more racial injustice that white people do. And yes, there is such a thing as white privilege, and it is definitely apparent. And I'm not going to try to get too sociological, political here, but when you talk about the definition of racism, it does work both ways. Now, that doesn't mean I'm trying to come off as some sort of ultra conservative, right-winged, hyper, white privilege, blah, 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 blah. No, like I've never personally experienced any racism towards me. I'm fortunate in that fact. But
my point is, and that's kind of a tangent. Okay. I just don't he was handed the keys to NXT more or less. He had a banger match with Adam Cole for the title after being there for a cup of coffee. It looked like he was going to be like under the wing of Keith Lee, which look where that guy is now. Like he's fucking killing it. Like I just don't understand the mentality. Like, yeah, I get it. You were offended, and okay, it was a bad call on someone's part. Have your blow up, and then retract it and say, you know what, calmer heads prevail. Like,
see, I'm gonna go this route, and I can't talk race because I'm a 35-year-old white guy, But I don't know. I think this goes beyond race. And I'm going to say this, Beef. I think we are qualified to talk about this because I'm fairly confident that all four of us at some point in our lives have been on the unfortunate end of some sort of discrimination. Doesn't have to be necessarily race involved, but we've all felt discrimination in one way or another.
That's fair.
So take the color of your skin out of it and, put something else in there. Whatever that may be. We've all felt,
economic.
Sure, economic. It could be, a multitude of things. And, for anybody listening out there who is, a little bit on the, more sensitive left side, I can say for myself, and, this is getting a little less wrestling, a little more political, but you know what? Suck it. As far as white privilege goes, I can talk about this issue all I want because I haven't experienced white privilege in my life. I was raised by a single mother who busted her ass to provide for her family. So there was no white privilege going on there. So let me just say this. We've all faced discrimination in one way or another. And you said it best yourself there, Beef. He was basically handed the keys to the kingdom in NXT. So to call the fact that, this whole blow up, yeah, we can, Poot. This whole blow up thing, I don't think it's discrimination at all, or I don't think it's race involved at all, because he was basically handed the keys to the kingdom. If he didn't like the logo design on one shirt, he really could have gone and, and I've said this before in one of our other episodes, he could have probably gone and, sat down with Triple H and gone like, hey man, I really, really hate this. Like, I really don't like this shirt. It really, really bothers me. And, Vince aside, I think Triple H is, a cooler, more realistic head. I think he could have been like, you know what, if it really bothers you that much, we'll do something about it.
And I think what it comes down to is no matter what, in any situation, just because I'm not offended by something doesn't mean that somebody else might not be. Like, if somebody uses the word retarded, okay,
not a fan.
I'm not a fan of it in a general sense. I'm even less of a fan of it because my son is on the autism spectrum. Now, do I get offended anytime somebody uses the word retarded? If Ransom says the Beef, quit acting retarded. No, I don't. I'm not that hypersensitive. If you called my son a retard, you're probably going to get your teeth knocked down your fucking throat. Here's the thing. Regardless of the issue, just because not everybody thinks the same, you have to communicate. You have to open a dialogue. And that's why I was trying. That's what the point I was going to try to make off of Beef's thing, saying we weren't qualified to talk about it, is that even if we're not qualified, we still should at some point, because maybe it opens dialogue for somebody. Maybe they can say, hey, you know what? Here's how racism affected me. It might open my eyes and give me a new perspective. So that's the thing is, regardless in any of these situations, communicate, because that's the only way we're going to further educate ourselves on any issue, regardless.
I really like.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick, but I really like what you said about the CTE. I had not read that, and that makes a fucking ton of sense.
It does,
doesn't it though?
Because he was basically a main eventer and just lost his fucking marbles. I mean, I can't think. And here's another comparison: fucking Antonio Brown. Like, best at what he did, one of the best at what he did, and just fucking lost his rocker one day, and now look at him. So, yeah, I mean, that makes a fucking ton of sense.
Yep.
So, speaking of things that don't make a ton of sense really quick, I just saw this. Apparently, WWE Shop, for their Cyber Week sale, was using Dean Ambrose's and Enzo Amore's shirts to advertise on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah,
now, they still get a cut of that, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, well, at least Dean Ambrose does. That was the reason he sat out his contract, was so that if they sold anything related to him or his image, he would get a check.
You know what? Good for him then.
Yeah.
I'd say good for Dean. What a smart dude.
Yep.
Yep.
Just wanted to throw that out there before we move on.
So look, I do want to get into the stump the chumps.
Yes.
And I don't have a hot tag trivia question for you guys, but I do want to pose one question to you guys, because I thought about this the other day, and I'd like to just have like a tiny little segment, and I'd like to get for all of us to answer this question. So here's my question to you guys. Are you ready? Strap in. I don't want, not counting any current talent that's working in wrestling these days. So this is all past talent. People that have retired that are not coming back. Who, in your opinion, who is a person that has never held the WWE title that you feel should have?
Ooh.
That's an easy one for me.
Well, why don't you kick it off then?
Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
That's a good one.
He was a workhorse of his time in WWE and even in WCW. I mean, yeah, WCW mishandled him, but that's beside the point. But Curt Hennig, to the fact that he didn't hold any title other than the Intercontinental title is a fucking crime. He should have had that belt at least once. He had the personality, he had the in-ring skills to put on a good match with anybody. You wanted to watch him. He was the right kind of cool. Like, he was the guy when you're like, you want to be him, you want to be buddies with him. He just, anything you threw at him, he delivered, and he delivered incredibly well.
Okay.
That's it. Curt Hennig.
I got 4 right off the bat to include Curt Hennig there, since you mentioned him. Mr. Perfect, Razor Ramon, Roddy Piper. Fuck, who was the other one? I just had it. God,
Rick Rude.
No, well, I was gonna say Rick Rude, but I was gonna say Jake the Snake.
Yeah, Jake.
There we go. Thank you. I almost forgot about him, but yeah, Rick Rude too. So they're definitely Jake, because Jake and Roddy were masters of the promo stuff. Yeah, the psychology of it. So many people cite back to Jake the Snake having some of the best psychology because he didn't have to raise his voice. All he had to do was just get his point across, and he would talk lower to purposely get you to listen more intently. And obviously, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, he had a good, he had a good gimmick, and he had decent promo stuff, as we saw whenever he was in the NWO. The early iteration of it, not 20,000 leagues deep. And he had a good build. He was good, big dude. So yeah, there's mine right there.
I'll harken back to what I said earlier about Roddy Piper. To me, it's a fucking crime that man was never WWE champion. He was fucking great in the ring, very impressive on the mic, and he could work a match like nobody else. And a dark horse here, I think, when you think of a heel in the 80s, he was the top heel.
Who's that? You blipped out.
Ted DiBiase.
The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And technically Andre gave him the title, but Jack Tunney null and voided that right away, so he never actually had a title reign. Right. So those two guys, I think it's a fucking crying shame. And I honestly probably wouldn't be too upset if they put a title belt on Ted DiBiase right now just to get his name in the title books, because fuck it, why not?
Put his corpse on marionette strings, bring him out.
He's not
Ted
dead.
DiBiase's not dead.
Oh, that's
not
right.
Yet.
He's not. I'm still thinking of Curt Hennig. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You made me panic a little bit.
I know.
I almost did too. I'm like, oh shit, did I miss something?
Look, that came out of my mouth, and I was like, "Where's the wait? Wait, what? Okay.
Why am I saying things? Oh no!
I don't know. Like I said,
Why you saying things with your poop mouth?
This stomach, poop.
Poop.
No, this your poot mouth.
Your poop mouth.
No, I like this stomach bug is really screwing with me, man. It's very yo-yo. Either I feel okay, and then I feel like I got hit by a bus.
But before we burrito this, Ransom, what to answer your own question? Who do you think?
Yeah, man.
one of the people that I always felt, and maybe if travesty hadn't befallen him, you never know what could have been. But for me, Owen Hart always stands out as one of the guys that
yeah.
He, again, my opinion, and I'm sure Beef might disagree with me. I always thought he was the better of the two brothers. Owen was flawless in the ring. It didn't matter who he worked with. The man looked amazing every time he stepped into the ring. When he was a face, you wanted him to win. Like, he felt like one of those guys where when he was a face, dang it all, I wanted Owen Hart to win every single match. I just rooted for the guy. And when he was a heel, he could make you hate him. Like, he had such heat as a heel, and it seemed effortless to him. It never seemed like he had to try to make the crowd hate him. So, from a crowd standpoint, I feel like he nailed it. He had amazing mic skills. He had amazing ring skills. And why he never made it higher than title, I don't know. And, unfortunately for Owen, I cut down in the prime of his life. And you never know, if Owen was still with us today, he may very well have been a multi-time WWE champion.
Sounded like you
can't really tell.
Sounded like you shot a bullfrog out of a potato gun.
I did a little bit. But yeah, Owen Hart for me, he's one of the people that I always felt should have been a WWE champion.
That's a good call.
So
Agreed.
Stump the Chumps, I hear we have something.
Oh my God, we have like a build up. I mean, he's been getting on me. He's like, dude, what's going on? I'm like, listen, dude, we've been, we've missed weeks here or there. We've been running 3-man shows. We've been running, fucking basically 2.5-man shows. It's been a rough couple months with us. It's the holidays, so you know how it is.
Yeah, what? Settle down, Mid-Card Maniac. Buy another shirt and settle down.
Or buy 6, like some guy did. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Really?
Yeah. Hold up. Not 6 P3 shirts, just in general. No, I know. No, sorry to get sorry to get you excited. But no, hey, when your sponsor does well, your podcast does well. So
that's it.
No, but yeah, the trickle down effect. No, somebody I was informed by Taylor in my stream last night that somebody bought 6 of the autism awareness t-shirts.
Nice.
And I was like, fucking A.
Oh, nice, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's tits, man.
awesome.
That's tits.
Yeah.
Well,
So lay it on us. Let's see if this this Mid-Card Maniac can stump us.
Let's satiate the maniac here and throw. And this is back from before Halloween, October 28th. So before Too Cool was the dancing tag team with Rikishi. They were known as Too Much.
Yep.
Too Much shared their entrance theme with what other superstar?
Oh.
Ooh. Wait.
Wow.
Because this is the entrance before it was the
Right.
Right. Okay. Now I'm trying to remember what the old entrance was though.
It was real I remember it from WWE No Mercy, as it like, and in fact it may have been WWE WrestleMania 2000 because I think in No Mercy they were like the, too cool.
No Mercy was definitely the Too Cool because trust me, from playing that enough, it was. I remember that.
You think we could take a listen to it?
I'm afraid. Well, you know what? I'll take the hit in the team if I get a spoiler here. I don't know how to.
I have it. Let's see if this is it.
So yeah, let the champ take the hit.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Kai and Tai.
No, it's not Kai and Tai.
No.
Who the fuck is that?
I was gonna say Tatanka, but that's not right.
No.
Because
Is
there's no
that
Buffalo.
Dan the Beast Severin? No, his was much more like Rocky. Like rock music, not like,
Wow, that's
the movie.
tough. This is tough. It sounded
Ransom, you're a music guy, dude.
It sounded a little Yokozuna-y, but that's not
No,
right.
man.
No, that definitely
No.
wasn't Yokozuna.
No, that's why I said it was Yokozuna-y.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like that beginning part until like the flute synth kicks in sounds very reminiscent of something that they would give like.
Ahmed Johnson? No.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Is that it was Ahmed Johnson until the flute kicked in.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking a guy like.
Once the flute kicked in, that's why I was thinking like Kai and Sai.
Right, that's why I was thinking like a guy like Dan the Beast Severn might make sense in this, but I feel like his was more upbeat.
Well, you know what? Maybe
Would that
not.
maybe Steve
maybe not-
Blackman's first one?
Moo.
No, I don't think it was anybody that came after them. It was either
okay.
somebody that was before them.
Right.
I was gonna say maybe not Kai and Tai, but maybe Taka. Maybe just Taka Michinoku.
No, Taka's was
No,
more.
No.
because his music was eventually Kai and Tai's music.
Okay.
What
I
was
wasn't sure.
What was the guy with the tattoos all over him? Hakushi?
Yes, Hakushi.
Yes. I don't think that's it either though, because
wanna-
his
I mean,
I got a feeling.
his music was more like Oriental style with like beats and drums. As a guy who's a Bret Hart fan, and that Hakushi was Bret Hart's only real feud, I'm fairly certain that it was not Hakushi, but I can't say who it may have been. Is it maybe like a woman that came before them? Because that could be like a WWF Women Superstars theme too, I guess.
I'm not sure.
I don't know why Hakushi just it feels right. I don't know. The flute is what's throwing me
Yeah,
something
100%.
towards-
What do you think?
I don't know.
Ransom?
I don't know this one. I have no idea.
Fuck it, go Hakushi.
All right, we'll go Hakushi then. I don't have anybody else to.
I got nobody else
Who?
either.
I mean, if we didn't have that flute, I'd say 100% it was Ahmed Johnson because it was that same exact like kind of beat, but that flute killed it. So, all right, well let's find out. And it is. Oh, okay. Too Much shared their theme with Kama when he was a Supreme Fighting Machine.
Oh, wow.
So like I was like right there with Dan the Beast Severn. I just a couple years too late.
Wow.
Hmm.
You guys want to do another one since we have a big old build up?
Yeah, let's
We'll do
knock
one more.
another one out.
One more and then wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Because we're already past our original
Oh,
target.
well past
Yeah.
it.
Fuck it.
All right. So
fuck it.
in 1991, WCW had a championship few knew about, the six-man tag team championship. It only lasted a year, but how many different championship teams were there, and can you name one team? This is 91.
Not at all.
Holy crap.
Talk to Poot, the WCW guy there. I have no
Yeah. Dude, honestly,
I mean,
that was I knew they had.
Demolition. When did because Demolition went to WCW, right?
What were they in WCW? Ming and the Barbarian, and was there one more?
The Faces of Fear.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one of that. I'm gonna say that was one of them.
Faces of Fear or Dungeon of Doom?
Dungeon of Doom, I think, was a little bit later, like
Yeah,
93, 94.
Dungeon of Doom was like after Hogan got there, so
What about
'Cause
American
That
Males?
title didn't last more than a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
We said a year, so we're talking from like 91 to 92, basically.
Yeah, I
Which
don't
would
even
have been
think it
right around the
lasted
time
more
of
than that year.
WrestleMania 9, which is way before Hogan went over,
yeah.
which is way before like Macho Man went over. So we're talking like old stuff. The Horsemen have to be one of them, I would imagine, right?
No, they weren't.
No.
I've looked up Horseman championships and they were never that.
Really interesting.
I want to say the Faces of Fear because when did the Head Shrinkers leave WCW or WWE?
Well, they were at
The Head
WrestleMania
Shrinkers
9.
are not. Yeah, the Head Shrinkers are not the Faces of Fear.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, never mind. I know they're related. That's why I'm getting confuddled.
Well, let's go with Faces of Fear.
Yeah, let's go with that.
No,
as well.
it wasn't them.
No.
No,
No, it wasn't them.
because that was only Ming and the Barbarian. There was not a third man.
I thought there was.
No, they were in the Dungeon of Doom, but the Faces of Fear were just those two. They were just the tag team.
Okay.
What about the Dangerous Alliance?
No.
Holly's Dangerous Alliance. No,
No, they didn't hold that. I want to say that there weren't more than 4 teams that ever held that championship. Because I can't. There had to be so few.
I think 4 is. Yeah, I think 4 is generous. I would probably say 3, to be honest. And I'm having trouble. I mean, the fact that we're having trouble coming up with a trio in the early WCW, in the early 90s WCW tells you that there can't be that many.
So look, I'm gonna say that there weren't more than 4. And one team that I'm convinced had it just because, and we haven't mentioned them yet, is the Freebirds.
Ooh.
Yes,
the Freebirds were in WCW.
Freebirds.
Yep.
And I can't think of other teams, but for some reason the Freebirds are sticking out of my head that it was them.
Good call.
Makes sense.
Good call.
Yes.
Freebirds.
So I don't know what iteration of the Freebirds it was, if there was multiple iterations, but I'm confident that the team, the Freebirds, held that title.
Go for it.
What number do we want to go with? 3, 4, 2?
I'm going to say 4.
4.
4.
Okay, 4 it is. We're going to go 4 and name
I
the
trust in the
Freebirds.
madness.
He does have a way about things.
Oh, I'm ripping off the Macho Man's gimmick.
Midcar Maniac says, if anyone gets us, I'll be shocked. Good luck to you all, even Ransom.
How dare you?
Oh my God. There were 4 sets of champions.
Wow.
They were JYD, Ricky Morton, Tommy Rich, the Fabulous Freebirds,
Thank you.
Big Josh, Dustin Rhodes, and Tom Zink, the Z-Man, and the York Foundation. Whoever the fuck the York Foundation is.
No idea who they are.
Wow. So
Midcard Maniac, I'll take a $10 gift card.
No, $49.99 gift card.
Ooh, that's even better.
You idiot.
Idiot.
So I mean, you did stop us, but then we redeemed ourselves. So, but keep them coming because that first one was a goodie. So even the second one was pretty good. So yeah, good job, Maniac, and for all of you idiots out there who are who want to participate in this, the email is pittsburghpiledriverpodcast@gmail.com. Send us your Stump the Chumps. We will read them on the air for all 4 of you to listen to. So, take us home, baby.
I want to thank all the sponsors and you idiots. Good night.
Nailed it.
No,
Why don't you do it a little bit better?
No, honestly, I think someone else should do it because like I'm super fading and
Fuck it, I'll thank myself.
Go for it, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah,
you know what? Here
Tommy got it.
I'll thank Tom. Tom, you take care of the rest, okay?
All right.
All right,
Well,
I want to thank our very own Tiger Bomb Tom, Mr. Casual Gaming Dad himself. You can check him out on Facebook. That's Casual Gaming Dad. He has so many wonderful video games that he plays, and his streams are super entertaining. Check it out. Also, check him out on YouTube and Twitch. It's Casual Gaming Dad 84, and yeah, check him out. He's absolutely wonderful. Go and pick up at his store, which is over on Gould Gaming, Casual Gaming Dad's merch page. Pick up one of the autism awareness shirts. It would really, do something nice there. And also, while you're at it, pick up a Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast shirt.
Absolutely.
You idiots. All right, Tom, you take it away.
And we'd also like to thank Mr. Sean Tischler for all his work that he does with IWC and bringing IWC to the Clearfield area in Central PA. Even if you're not in the Central PA area, if you're anywhere near more of the south to southwestern part of the city around Pittsburgh, more specifically Elizabeth, PA, go check out IWC down at the Court Time Sports Center. Even though they're not a sponsor of ours, we want to thank them anyways because they help reinvigorate, I would say, our love of live pro wrestling. I'd say, dare to say, Ransoms especially after, yeah, exactly, and giving me a love for indie wrestling, and something that I'm gonna enjoy myself and taking my kids to and stuff in the future. Also, real quick plug to Rise Wrestling with their 3rd anniversary show coming up on Saturday. If you are around still the southern part of the Pittsburgh area, like kind of going towards like Bell Vernon area and stuff like that. I forget the exact address, but go check out the previous episode of the podcast with our interview with Lola Bradbury. Check the descriptions of the video and you'll see information there for Rise Wrestling, where you can get tickets and stuff like that to that show. But thank you to everybody that helps make this podcast possible and gets the word out there, whether it's the listeners like Midcard Maniac or whether it's the other three idiots here. And thank you especially to Poot for being the technical man behind the scenes. And just so you know, if you ever need to, I got you on backup with that now. So
thanks, man.
This was the best 1 hour episode ever.
Oh.
Literally exactly 2 hours long.
nice.
All right, for Beef the Legend, Tiger Bomb Tom, Alec Ransom, the Madman.
Oh, I got uppercutted. This is bullshit.
I told you I'd sprinkle it in there out of nowhere.
Hey, what did I say about coming after my advocate, Tom? What did I say?
I say
Good
you're going to
night,
get
everyone.
uppercutted next.
Oh, Poot's going full Jake the
you
Snake.
Oh, God, just listen to me. Thank you all for listening tonight. This is your reigning, defending, undisputed, Cruiserweight champion, Poot the Bard. Baby, have a good night.
Sensual.